Number 484 is Lady Gaga's Born This Way. I don't know if you've ever heard this one, Kyle. This one might be new to you. Not sure if you're a big Gaga fan. This one was released on May 23rd of 2011, which seems like ages ago. These songs do not seem that old in my memory. It was released on Interscope Records, produced by many, many people out of the US of A. It comes in at just over an hour. Kyle, are you a monster? Is she mother or no?
Hey, it's Kyle. Just jumping in real quick to ask, do you approve this groove? Let us know in the comments. Give us a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and join the conversation. So, I knew a couple of the songs, the hits, the singles from this album, but I honestly have never spent any time with Lady Gaga before this, other than what would come on the radio or in my wife's car or something like that. And I was rocking the hell out to the first like 3 or 4 songs. Like I was into it. It kind of plateaued for me at that point, and then actually even like dipped off the last couple of songs. Like I was ready to give this an easy 4 after the first 3 or 4 songs. Like 4 pushing 5. Like I loved the lyrical themes. I loved the ideas of self-acceptance and embracing your identity and being who you are and all of that going on. Government Hooker was, I really like, I enjoyed that song a lot. It had like this industrial tinge that kind of hooked me. It felt dark and a little dangerous, and the themes of women's empowerment was appreciated. The first few songs really had me going. It didn't sustain me though. It didn't. I didn't. It didn't carry through to the point where I was still ready to give it that 4 or 5 by the end of the album. I think we talked a little bit about this last week. You and I, that song, I had heard that song probably 100 times before listening to this album, but I didn't know that it was Lady Gaga. That song, and we talked about this last week because we were talking about Mutt Lange, the producer. So I always figured that song, not knowing who it was, that you and I had always just assumed it was some country crossover song, because it feels like a country song to me. It feels like a country crossover song to me. And then I got to that song on this album, and I was like, oh God, that's her. Like, this is a Lady Gaga song. And then I looked
You're
into
disappointed?
it. I was disappointed because I hate that song. Like,
You hate that song?
I can't stand that song.
Oh my God.
I can't stand that song. And then I looked into it, and it was produced by Mutt Lange, who was Shania Twain's husband and producer and does a lot with like that country crossover genre. I was like, yeah, well, that makes sense. That's why it felt like a country song to me. I can't stand that song. And maybe it's personal. Maybe it's just like, I don't know, maybe it was just an overplayed thing that just drove me nuts, but I can't stand that song. And then I think that's what maybe colored the last few songs for me, because I think it is towards the end of the album, if I'm remembering.
Yeah, second to last.
The first 3 songs, I was in. I was 3 or 4 songs. I was in. I loved it. I was ready to give it a really good score. It kind of plateaued in the middle. The last couple of songs, I was like, it was all right. And then You and I said, nope. But
All right.
To saying all that, overall, I liked it. Like I don't want to come off overly harsh because of that one song that I can't stand. But overall, I kind of liked it.
Are you done? This album kills from start to finish. Get over yourself. No. I don't think it necessarily plateaus. I think that it starts strong, it dips, and then it comes back. All right. Now, that being said, The middle songs I've gained more appreciation for recently, and for strange reasons. Um, the song Bloody Mary. Um, I don't remember if it was included in or it was just like a TikTok thing. But when the show Wednesday came out, like a year and a half ago, I can't remember, two Halloweens ago, I don't remember. Um, there's a sped up, or there are sped up versions of that song um, that are really fun. That was my first exposure to that. I didn't know it was a Lady Gaga song to begin with. And when I say sped up, I mean like the whole thing, vocal, pitch, everything is sped up, which was just really fun. So my daughters and I would listen to those a lot. So it's a little jarring to hear the original version because it just feels like it drags to me, just because I'm used to the fast version. What you said about the lyrical content, yeah, I can get down with that. I appreciate that. No arguments there. But I do think that like a song like Hair, um, it's to it's silly to me because the lyrics don't resonate with me and for the same way that they would resonate with others, right? So I'm
Hmm.
just left with this is a silly song. Like, okay, this is just silly. Let's move on. But anytime Lady Gaga sings in a foreign language, I'm there for it. I mean, so to hear her German, I don't speak German, like right, like to hear that, I was in. That's just fun,
Yeah.
and I can only imagine that it's probably a pretty good accent. I could not agree with you. No, sorry, I could not disagree with you more on You and I.
Really.
The end of that song, like from the part where she shouts out Nebraska for inexplicable reasons, that song rocks. Like the whole end, the vocals, the guitar, everything. Mutt Lang deserves a Grammy and more for that. I don't care. There's like that is an intentional move, right? That is an intentional move. You don't bring in Mutt Lang to subtly reference country crossover. You bring in Mutt Lang to sell it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm going all in, and I think she did. It was
Hmm.
great. The Edge of Glory is a great song at the end too. Again, it's a little bit cheesy to me, but it's a great one. I agree that the album starts off well. Having defended this album to the extent that I just have is surprising to me.
I'm gonna laugh if we gave it the same score.
Right. I okay. Let me bring that information up. And I fully okay. What did you score it?
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 4.
Okay.
So all right, good.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
then at least we're not crazy. I gave it a 4. I stand by it. This album was all over the place. This was her. Where was this in her discography? This was her second album. And it was interesting. I know she started off. My first exposure to her was she was on that. I think it was Akon, on that Akon song that was in the on the radio. So I was surprised when I spun this again at how dancey it was.
Hmm.
I didn't, and she's gone on to do a lot of stuff, much less dancey. So I was surprised about that. Um, this song, or I'm sorry, this album won a lot of awards. It sold a ton of records. Um, it's pretty impressive. I mean, this is on the decade end charts. It's nuts. This is a four-time platinum album in 2011, post Napster, mid LimeWire. Still sold 4 million units. Um, Platinum. I mean, this is when I've looked at other notes on this stuff. There's sometimes maybe 5 or 6 countries. There's more than I can count on this one. This charted everywhere. Um, it it was on. I mean, I'm looking at the top charts peak position. Um, there's probably 30 countries and only one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine by quick count aren't number one peak position. And of those nine, seven of them are single digits. So like it flew.
Oh yeah.
It flew.
I'll be interested to see, and I haven't looked ahead really, at least not too specifically. I'll be interested to see if there's more Lady Gaga on this top 500 albums.
I hope there is because I also noted that these are not her best songs. I mean, these are a lot of these are good songs. They're not her best songs.
Right.
So, I'm curious. Again, I don't know if you've said this. I haven't looked ahead. I've only seen the first 50,
Hmm.
so I don't know what is to come. I don't know if there's other Lady Gaga albums on this, but this is a great. If there's not, this is a great case study for you can have amazing songs that are on so-so records that don't get put on lists this way. Um, they might be on those songs might be on lists of the best songs of whatever. But an album's an album, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
if
Yep.
it's not a it's if it's hey, your rubric holds up. So yeah, I dug it. Gaga for life.
Hey, thanks for watching. We'd love to know what you think of this album, so let us know in the comments. Do you approve this groove? And as always, a quick thumbs up helps a lot. Subscribe so you can see all 500 albums, and we'll see you on the next record.